The return of cruising is only days away, and P&O is continuing to put the finishing touches on their return to service. We'll talk about all that and more now. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As always, thank you for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. P&O's Pacific Explorer will set sail on May 31st with a boatload of very excited guests. As announced a few weeks ago, the cruise line will utilize the VeriFLY app in order to manage the status and authenticity of guest vaccination certificates. Passengers will also be able to upload their negative COVID test results prior to the cruise. Passengers have the choice of completing a PCR test within 72 hours of departure, or otherwise a self-administered rapid antigen test within 24 hours of boarding. Passengers will then declare their results within the app, which can be done up until 6 a.m. on the day of boarding. Each adult passenger is required to complete their verification using the app, but one question that people have raised is whether those without a smartphone, or perhaps those that are less tech savvy, can avoid using the app altogether. Well, yes, in a nutshell, you can avoid using the app if you don't have the ability to use it. That means though that once at check-in at the pier, you'll need to produce your vaccination certificate and also make a declaration as to the status of your COVID test result. Of course, this will add time to the check-in process, and if you can avoid it, then you should. You really shouldn't be relying on it as an option, but instead more of a backup. I know that many of you were keenly waiting for P&O to become a vendor option in the VeriFLY app, and as of today, they are now live. If you have a P&O booking, you can download the app from whichever app store you use and get started with uploading your vaccination certificate for review. Another step closer to the cruise restart. And to that end, Pacific Explorer will embark on an activation cruise next Thursday, May 26th. The 3-night voyage will see suppliers, agents, P&O's trade partners, and me join the ship in order for its services and venues to be tested and fine-tuned in the lead up to the resumption of guest services on May 31st. Having been out of service for the better part of 2.5 years, plus with new health requirements, a new app, new boarding processes, and check-in requirements, the test cruise will enable P&O to make sure that their ship, their staff, their crew, and all of the facilities are firing on all cylinders, ready for passengers on May 31st. Keep an eye out for some long overdue and fresh cruise content on my YouTube channel and social media pages. In 2021, as cruising began to return in places like the US and Europe, cruise lines lowered their passenger count to enable social distancing, as well as to ensure that a number of cabins remained vacant on each voyage if they were required for isolation or quarantine purposes. This will still be the case for the Australian Princess Cruises resumption, with Coral Princess embarking on its cruises from Brisbane next month with a lowered capacity. However, a reduced passenger count is currently the symptom of another issue that a few cruise lines are experiencing. Cruise shortages are causing issues around the world, with Cunard having to bump booked passengers from at least one Alaskan sailing this season. The same problem is also responsible for a number of voyage cancellations on board P&O UK's Arcadia. On board both Carnival and Norwegian cruise lines, crew shortages have been responsible for a couple of specialty dining venues being taken offline. Meals at Carnival's Chef's Table and Cucina del Capitano have both been suspended through to at least the end of June. A Carnival statement read that the challenge of securing visas for cruise industry employees is affecting staffing levels on board. Hopefully this is an issue that's resolved soon. And for those of you looking for something a little bit off the beaten path, or waves, however you want to put that, Australian expedition cruise line Coral Expeditions has announced a 21-night epic journey departing Cairns on December 16th. The 3-week journey will set off without a fixed itinerary. Instead, the 2019-built Coral Adventurer will set sail and head to remote and rarely visited islands, such as Wallis and Futuna in the Pacific Ocean and Luganville and Pentecost in Vanuatu. The cruise will end in Auckland, but not before you get the chance to cross the international date line and celebrate Christmas and New Year's on board. The all-inclusive cruise starts at $16,950 per passenger twin share. If you are interested in that or any other cruise, you can head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguide.com.au. Well, that's it for this week's cruise news update. I may not be able to bring you a cruise news update next week, but I think the excuse is a pretty valid one. I will bring you some new fresh content from Pacific Explorer So please keep an eye out for that. And if you'd like to follow me live on social media, you can do that on Facebook or Instagram at the Cruise and Travel Guy. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and I'll see you soon. Passengers have the choice of completing a or a self-administered rapid antigen test 24 hours. Or otherwise, a self-administered rapid antigen. That means though that once at the pier, you'll need to do things. And if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do that.